What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I want to recap Sunday's game between our Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys continuing to tune into the channel, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you would like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. But I do really appreciate each and every one of you guys' continued support. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So like I stated, I do want to recap Sunday's game between our Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions. Our Falcons did come away with their first home victory of the season. We won the game by a score of 20-16. Our Falcons now sit at 7-8, and we are still currently right in the thick of things when it comes to the playoff hunt. We're right behind a couple teams, the Saints. We're right behind the Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers, the Washington football team, all the teams that are kind of like currently in the mix for that wild card spot. Unfortunately, the Falcons don't control their own destiny as far as the playoffs due to us losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, us losing to the 49ers last week or 2 weeks ago, and us losing to the Washington football team early in the season. If it were to come down where the Falcons were to have the same record as those teams, they would get the nod over our Atlanta Falcons to make the playoffs due to them holding the tiebreaker because they beat us head to head. But at this point, all this Falcons team can do is put their head down and try to win the last two games, which could possibly be a tall task. We do have the Buffalo Bills, which is a winnable game. The Buffalo Bills are one of the better teams in the league. We face them this Sunday coming up in Buffalo. It's going to be a huge game for our Atlanta Falcons. In the last game of the season, we will face the New Orleans Saints at home. So the last two games of the season, we must win these games and go 9-8, which would be a winning season, whether we make the playoffs or not. But we definitely need to win these last two games to give ourselves a shot or a crack at that last two playoff spots. Now, with that being said, I want to talk about a couple things that stood out to me in this game against Detroit on Sunday, the victory against Detroit. The first thing that stood out to me was Ofoye Oluokun, our inside linebacker, our Mike linebacker. Ofoye played great in this game against the Detroit Lions. He came away with the game-sealing interception in the red zone. Ofoye Oluokun, to me, has been playing like a Pro Bowl linebacker. A lot of people are talking about A.J. Terrell, which rightfully so. A.J. Terrell is a great cornerback. He's having a great season, and he definitely should have made the Pro Bowl. But I think a guy who's been overlooked is Ofoye Oluokun. I definitely think Foye should have been one of those linebackers that possibly made the Pro Bowl this year. He's currently leading the league in tackles, if I'm not mistaken. He already has close or north of 100 tackles this season. He's really been balling. Him and Deion Jones, both of those linebackers have really been balling this year. But Foye, I have a new nickname for him. His new nickname will be Big Play Foye because he's been coming up crucial this season. The last two seasons, he's really been a turnover machine. If you remember last year when we played the Dallas Cowboys, he basically caused 3 forced fumbles against Zeke Elliott. He had a crucial interception in that game against the Kansas City Chiefs last year where he almost returned it for a touchdown. Early this season, he also had an interception where he almost scored a touchdown as well. And then this was just another interception in this game where it was the game-sealing interception for our team. So he's definitely has developed into one of the better linebackers in the game. I definitely think he deserves a new contract, and I definitely think that the Falcons will bring Foye back. But he really has stepped up this season when Dean Pease came in and basically switched his role to that Mike linebacker role where he's making all of the calls and being the signal caller. Basically, him and Deion Jones flipped positions. but he's done a great job at developing into one of the leaders of the defense. Him, Deion Jones, and Grady Jarrett are the guys that I look at as the leaders of this Atlanta Falcons defense. But Foye has been excellent this season. So shout outs to him. He definitely was the player of the game yesterday. He definitely deserved the game ball, coming away with that game-winning interception. And we always talk about timely stops. He came up with a very timely stop to keep our playoff hopes alive. So shout outs to Foye and Lil Khan. He came away with 13 tackles yesterday, 1 tackle for loss and an interception. So shout out to him. The second thing that stood out to me in this game was how well our team has been closing out games this season. We are 7-2, which is the stat that I actually looked up, and they've been talking about in the media that we're 7-2 in close games or one possession games this season. I did say going into the season that this Falcons team would make the playoffs because I thought that this team would be better at complementary football, and it looks like I was right. I'm not too sure if we're going to make the playoffs because that's still up in the air, but this team definitely is better than last year's team as far as the coaching staff understanding time and possession and understanding how to close out games. This year, we've been great at closing out one possession games. So shout outs to Arthur Smith for understanding, clock management and the coaches understanding time and possession. And shout out to these players for stepping up in crucial moments and making big plays. Whether it's been a Foye Lil Khan, whether it's been Kyle Pitts, whether it's been Matt Ryan making the right decisions, Russell Gage, AJ Terrell, it's been all of these guys been coming up with key plays at crucial moments. Michael Walker came away with an interception against the Panthers a couple weeks ago with a pick six that swung the momentum of that game. So this team is just a scrappy team, a scrappy bunch. We don't have, a ton of superstars on this team. We do have a handful of guys that are superstar or have that superstar capability, like the AJ Terrells, like the Grady Jarretts, like the Deion Jones and Foyers, like the Kyle Pitts and Cordell Pattersons of the world. But this team is very scrappy. This team has done a great job at staying in the mix, and they've been great at closing out these games. So I've been really impressed with the way that this team battles when it comes down to, clutch possessions late in the game. Guys seem like they're fearless and they're making plays. The third thing that I noticed in this game for our Atlanta Falcons that really stood out as well was the trenches. To me, the offensive line and the defensive line did a pretty solid job in this game of not being manhandled like we were 2 weeks ago when we faced the San Francisco 49ers. This game did start off a little rocky. Early on, Matt Ryan was sacked, I believe, 2 times in the first couple plays of the game. But after that first quarter, the offensive line kind of settled in, and they did a good job for the most part of keeping Matt Ryan clean, giving him time to pass the ball. And they did a pretty solid job of trying to open up running lanes for the running backs. So that was something that stood out to me in this game. And to me, the defense did a great job at trying to stop the run, and the linebackers did a good job. Both the linebackers and the safeties. Jalen Hawkins was a man amongst the boys. He had a crucial stop late in the game in the red zone where he came down from his safety position and made a key tackle for loss against the running back of the Detroit Lions. But I think that we did a pretty good job of controlling the line of scrimmage in this game, which is key to winning in the NFL. I always talk about the trenches, and in this game, we did a pretty solid job in the trenches. Now, the last thing that I wanted to mention in this game that really stood out to me was the play calling by Arthur Smith. To me, he did a good job in the red area. When we got in the red zone, I always talk about red zone efficiency. And in this game, that was the difference between the Atlanta Falcons losing this game against the Lions and winning this game. We were great in red zone efficiency. Pretty much every time we got down in the red area, we scored touchdowns. And we did a good job of limiting Detroit's touchdowns when they got in the red area. A couple times they kicked field goals, and that was the difference in us winning the game by 4 points. Is us limiting their touchdowns and us scoring touchdowns in the red area. That's something that we really struggled with 2 weeks ago, in the loss against the San Francisco 49ers. And it looked like they did a solid job in this game of cleaning that up. I love the play to Hayden Hurst on the touchdown by Arthur Smith using Kyle Pitts as a decoy, and him throwing the ball, Matt Ryan throwing the ball to Hayden Hurst on a wheel route, which was excellent play calling. And I love the way that Arthur Smith used Kyle Pitts in this game. Kyle Pitts had a huge game, caught the ball, caught over 100 yards or had over 100 yards receiving in Sunday's game. And he's really close to eclipsing 1,000-yard season this season for Atlanta Falcons as a rookie. So that's been really, really big for he's been huge for Atlanta Falcons this season with Kyle Pitts. But to me, on the offensive side of the ball, Kyle Pitts has to get the game ball. He definitely was one of those guys that really stepped up on key third downs. He made tough catches across the middle as he's done all season. And he was another huge bright spot for our Atlanta Falcons in this game. But with that being said, those were pretty much all of the things that stood out to me in this game against the Detroit Lions. I'm going to have a lot more content coming for you guys. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button for your boy. But this been your boy, Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.